Hi friends, I am Dr. Warlu, personal development trainer, leadership coach, consultant nutritionist and psychologist.
The map is not the territory. What does it mean? It means people respond to their map of reality and not to reality itself. For example, 10 people have witnessed an accident. An auto rickshaw hit a car. If you ask those 10 people how the accident occurred and who was wrong, these 10 people may give you 10 different versions. Each will be differing from the other in some aspect. Everyone has prepared his or her own map. They are responding to their maps of reality and not to the reality itself. The reality is same for everyone, but they are representing that reality in different ways. Last month, I conducted a workshop for a company at the Hotel Viceroy in Hyderabad. There were about 100 people in the workshop. The workshop began at 9 a.m. At 9:30, I noticed a lady sitting in the back row was not paying attention to what I was saying. So I went to her and said, "Ma'am, why can't you go front and sit in the front row?" No sooner did I utter these words than her breathing rate increased and her eyes became red. This means my words angered her. Anyhow, she went front and sat in the front row. Though she sat in the front row, she did not settle down. She was boiling like a pressure cooker with anger. At 10:30, I gave a tea break. In the tea break, she came to me with her friend and said, "Sir, you have insulted me." Then I said, "Lady, what did I say? I just asked you to go front and sit in the front row so that you can concentrate better." Then the lady said, "Before all these people, you have asked me to go front. It is an insult. You should not have said like that." Then her friend who had come with her said, "Oh, for this only you are boiling like a pressure cooker. If sir had asked me to go front and sit in the front row, I would have felt I was honored. Because there are 100 people. He is taking care of each and every one. He is interested in everybody's learning. If he had asked me to go front and sit in the front row, I would have definitely felt I was honored." See, friends, the same stimulus asking a person to go front and sit in the front row. One is taking it as an insult and the other is taking it as an honor. Why these differences in human beings? God or nature has given all of us the same hardware. If a medical doctor cuts open the heads of 4 or 5 people, and if you watch, there will be 1300 to 1400 grams of grey substance in each of their heads. There will be 6,000 miles of wiring and cabling inside their heads.
There are 100 billion neurons in each one of us,
A billion means 100 crores.
which is equal to the 10,000 crores of computers.
Each neuron is equal to one tiny computer and is capable of processing 1 million bits of information per second. A giant power is lying in each of us. The designer has not done any injustice to us. He has given us the most powerful biocomputer, which is equal to the power of 2800 crores of computers. But unfortunately, he did not give us the software to run this hardware. Then where did we get the software to run this hardware? Our software was prepared by our parents. Our software was prepared by our peers. Peers means equal age group people. Our software was prepared by our teachers. Our software was prepared by the media, the print or electronic. The books that we have read, the movies that we have watched, and the experiences that we have undergone in our lives, all these things have constituted of our softwares. There are differences in our softwares, though the designer has endowed all of us with the same hardware. As there are differences in the software, human beings react to the same stimulus in different ways. That's why their maps of reality are different from the reality itself. The incident will be same, but the way how people react to it depend on their software. The software determines their map of reality. Our software deletes some information, distorts certain things, and generalize certain aspects of our experiences. In the accident example, some leave out some information more, some change certain details, and some generalize certain things based on their similar previous experiences. That is why people's maps are different, though the reality is the same. This means people don't respond to the incident, the world, or reality directly. They respond to their mental maps. So why don't people prepare empowering maps? There is a story about Tom Watson, the founder of IBM. One of his employees made a very costly mistake that made IBM lose $10 million. Watson called that employee into his office. Entering Watson's office, the employee said, "I think you want my resignation." Watson looked at him smilingly and said, "Are you joking? We spent $10 million educating you. This is preparing the empowering map." Watson knew there was no use crying over spilt milk. If you ask for the employee's resignation, the company will lose an experienced, valuable employee. No one deliberately makes mistakes. Winners always learn lessons from their mistakes and failures and make empowering maps of those mistakes and failures. Losers always make negative maps which are counterproductive. One of the most effective tools for personal change is learning how to make empowering maps of any experience. Many times there are opportunities all around for us. There are ways to see our biggest problems as our greatest opportunities if we can change our habitual patterns of perception. We can perceive something as a liability or an asset. If you look at the same situation from a different point of view, our maps will change. For instance, there is a story about two sales representatives of Bata Shoe Company in
Chicago.
Two sales representatives of Bata were sent to an island in Africa to make a market survey to launch their shoes there. The first sales representative, upon his arrival, was shocked to realize that no one wore shoes on the island. He sent a telegram to the
Chicago
office saying, "I am returning home because no one wears shoes here. We won't have any market here." The second representative got excited and thrilled by the same thing. Then he sent a telegram to his office saying, "Please send me 10,000 shoes. Everyone here needs shoes. We have to create the market." There is a lot of potentiality. Most projects fail or succeed before they begin. Winning starts with beginning. All is well that begins well. Whether we begin something or not will depend on the mental map that we prepare. The father of psychology in America, William James of Harvard University, said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes. When we change our attitudes, our maps will change. Attitude is everything." Our attitude determines how we look at a setback. To a negative person, it is a stumbling block. Opportunity is always under our feet. What we have to have is empowering mental maps. How we feel about what happened and how we respond to it depends on our perception. There are an infinite number of ways to interpret any experience. By changing our mental maps, we can have many choices. We don't know how things really are. It doesn't matter what happens, but how we represent what happens matters a lot. So what winners do is they represent what happens in a way that empowers them rather than creating limitations. No matter how horrible a situation is, we can have an empowering map of it. Paradigm number 5. There is no perfection, but only excellence. The quality of a product or service can be improved continuously. This paradigm is called Kaizen principle in Japanese management. Kaizen means continuous improvement. However qualitative a product may be, or however qualitative a service may be, it can be improved further. All winners have this paradigm. They always think, how can I improve the quality of my job? As they continuously ask their mind this question, the mind will set in motion and it will show different means and methods of doing it. They select the best ones and take action. If you want to excel in any field, first you should do what you are doing now in a qualitative way. And then you should increase the quantity of that qualitative work. Excellence takes place when the performer takes pride in his job. You know the story of 3 bricklayers. 3 people were laying bricks and a passerby asked him, "What are you doing here?" The first bricklayer replied, "Laying bricks." The second one said, "Making my living." And the third one said, "I am building the world's greatest temple." What do you think happened to these 3 bricklayers in later years? As the first 2 lacked pride in their jobs, they may have remained just as the bricklayers. The third one, who had job respect and love, may have become a foreman, a contractor, or possibly an architect. When you think your job is important and love it, excellence automatically happens. There is a close relationship between a person's job respect and his job performance. A person who thinks his job is important will receive mental signals on how to do his job better. Only when we take care of small things, big things will happen. Once Michelangelo worked on a statue for several days. The statue was looking excellent. Then again, he spent a long time for finishing touches. He was taking care of every small detail. A passerby was watching his work every day. It seemed insignificant to him and asked Michelangelo why he was wasting a lot of time on small things. Then Michelangelo replied, when we take care of small things, excellence will happen. But excellence is not a small thing. Most people forget how fast we did a job, but they always remember how well we did it. Every job is a self portrait of the person who does it. That's why Martin Luther King Jr. said, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job excellently. We cannot compromise on quality. Take a sheet of paper and on the top of it, write how can I improve the quality of my job or service. Sit in a quiet place and put that question to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will produce different options. Select the best one and act upon it. Once a correspondent of the Time magazine asked Yamini Saraswati, the famous Indian dancer, how she could perform so well. She said, continuous practice and improvement. If I don't practice for a month, the audience can tell the difference. If I don't practice for a week, my husband can tell the difference. If I don't practice for a day, I can tell the difference. A duty which becomes a desire will ultimately become a delight. Practice adding value to yourself. Ask yourself daily, what can I do to make myself more valuable today? Visualize yourself not as you are, but as you can be. If you put this paradigm into practice, soon you will be a great success. Success in life is not determined by how we are doing compared with others, but by how we are doing compared with what we are capable of doing. Winners compare their performance against their capabilities. They compete against themselves. They often break their own records. There is no perfection, only excellence. Anything can be improved continuously. Paradigm number 6. No one can become rich without enriching others. If you give in grams, you will get back in tons. As you sow, so you shall reap. You can't harvest money without planting the seeds that grow money. The seed of money is service. Put service first, and money takes care of itself. Always give people more than they expect to get. Each little extra something you do for others is a money seed. Plant service and harvest money. Go extra mile. These days, many people don't do what they are supposed to do. If you do what you are supposed to do and a little extra, then there will be no competition for you. You will be in great demand even after your retirement also. Security in any job comes from being employable, not from being employed. In Andhra Pradesh, there is a sweet shop owner by name Pullareddy. In the initial days of his career, he used to sell his sweets, taking them to the doorsteps of the people. Now he is a multi-millionaire. He is very famous in society. He came to Hyderabad, the capital city of Andhra Pradesh, some 30 years back and started a sweet shop in Hyderabad. At the same time, another man from the same village came to Hyderabad and started a sweet shop. Both of them used very qualitative ingredients to make their sweets. They were very accurate in weighing their sweets. If a person buys a kilo of sweets, they weigh them very accurately, as if they were weighing gold. After weighing the sweets, Pullareddy keeps one sweet extra in the packet while the customer is watching. That is, he is going extra mile. Next time, to whom will you go? Naturally to Pullareddy. If you go to a shop of Pullareddy with children, before you place an order, The person at the counter will give each of your child a sweet freely. Recently, I took my son to one of Polarity's shops. Before I placed the order, the man at the counter gave my son a sweet. I thought the person at the counter may be knowing me. He may have attended one of my personal development workshops somewhere. That is why he gave a sweet to my son freely. Now, after a minute, a lady came to the same shop with two children to buy sweets. The person at the counter gave two sweets freely to those two children also. Then I asked the man at the counter whether they give sweets to every child freely. The man said yes. Whether you place an order for sweets or not, if you come with the child will get a sweet free of cost. This is our policy. See, this is going extra mile. After a month, I was going somewhere with my son in my car, and my son asked me to buy some sweets. After a minute's drive, I saw some Venkatreddy sweet shop and stopped the vehicle to buy sweets. Then my son said, "No, Dad, here the sweets do not taste good. Let's go to Polarity." I know these people also use fine quality of flour and ghee to make their sweets, and the sweets taste good. But I didn't want to disappoint my son, so I took him to the nearest Polarity shop and bought him sweets. It was a 5-kilometer drive extra. What do you think made my son insist on Polarity sweets? Why did he become his ambassador? Because last time when I took him to the shop, he got a free sweet and it made him feel he was loved and cared. These Polarity people made my son feel he was a special person, so that he always insists on Polarity sweets.
Friends, to achieve any big things in life, we need health and energy most. Take care of your health and energy.
I strongly believe people of your kind appreciate this video. If so, like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.